Nakia L. Roberson. So I like to use the L because, believe it or not, I thought I was the only Nakia in the world. I had no idea when my mom came up with that name. Well, I do know because I asked her. But I just thought it was a name that not a lot of people had. And then I started going to school. And then once I started my own business, I saw that there were other Nakias out there. So I go by Nakia L. Roberson. So my name is Nakia L. Roberson. All right. Shout out from H-Town. So my name is Nakia L. Roberson, and I am a licensed professional counselor. And so I do have a virtual private practice in the Texas area, so I can see anybody in the state of Texas. So whether you're in Austin, whether you're in Dallas, that is the beauty of a virtual therapist, is I can see anybody as long as you are in Texas. And so I'm in Texas, and I am also certified school counselor. So just a little bit about me. I've been with my partner for, we've been together since high school. So it has been 20, and I'm giving away my age, but we've been together for over 25 years, y'all. Don't ask my age in the comments. But we've been together for a very long time. So hubby and I have been together. We've been married for about 23 years, I believe. And so in my practice, I have a heart for women in discouraging relationships. And that is in a discouraging relationship with yourself, because sometimes we wrestle with ourselves, and sometimes we deal with self-confidence and we deal with self-worth as women. And so I work with women in discouraging relationships with themselves, but I also work with women in discouraging relationships as far as with their mate. So I work with a lot of couples, pre-marital couples, and also couples who have been married for a short time, couples who are newlyweds, couples who've been married for a very, very long time. So that's pretty much what I do. So the name of my practice is Next Stage Counseling and Wellness. Y'all, I am so big on names. I believe that names are very, very important. Like, it took forever for my husband and I to name our daughter, because I am so big on what your name means. Like, I know the meaning of my name. If you don't know the meaning of your name, go look it up. If you know the meaning of your name, drop it in the comment section, because I believe that when somebody's calling your name, they are speaking life. They are speaking into you. And so what does your name mean? Because that is what that person is saying when they call you by your name. So like, my name means pure. And so anytime somebody says Nakia, I just think of them speaking that purity and that cleanliness into my life. And so I am big on names. So it took me, I'm thinking I probably did not have a name for my practice for maybe my first 3 years in business. So I was like, what name do I want it to be? Because I'm very big on the meaning of names. So I came across the name. I decided to go with Next Stage Counseling and Wellness, because when I think of next stage, I took it from the concept of the butterfly. So the butterfly goes through stages, just like we go through stages in life, right? So we go through these stages in life, and the butterfly goes through the stages in life. However, there is a transformation process. And so I believe that when you're in therapy, when you're seeking help for yourself, then you go through this transformation process. Okay. And so when I think of the butterfly goes through 4 stages. So the first stage is they are an egg. So that's like our birthing stage. We are birthed from our mother's womb. Okay. And then the butterfly goes through the stage of being a caterpillar. In that stage of being a caterpillar, the caterpillar is crawling, and they're crawling on the ground, they're crawling on surfaces. And so sometimes in life, we feel like we are crawling. We feel like we are low, right? And so we feel like we have nowhere else to go. Like, we don't see ourselves flying high in the sky in times. And so when a caterpillar is crawling, or when they're in that stage of crawling, which is we sometimes are in the stage of crawling, then that caterpillar begins to shed. And so when it's shedding, It's shedding because it is growing. And so in our lives, sometimes we have to shed old habits. We have to shed Instagram. But so we have to shed all those things, just like the butterfly goes through the shedding process. However, when the butterfly goes through the shedding process, well, the caterpillar, before it becomes a butterfly, goes through this shedding process, then it goes into a chrysalis. Now, one thing about when it's in the caterpillar state, we have to remember that when it's in the caterpillar state, it's feeding. Okay, so it's feeding because it is preparing itself for when it does go into the chrysalis. And so sometimes in our stage of life, we have to remember that we have to continue to nourish our body. We have to continue to feed things to us that is going to cause us to grow, so that we can shed, so that we can see that some changes need to be made. And so when the caterpillar goes through the chrysalis stage, when it goes into the chrysalis, it is secluded. It is all by itself. You don't go into a chrysalis with somebody else. It's not two caterpillars in that chrysalis. That caterpillar is in that chrysalis by itself. And so sometimes we have to get away by ourselves. There's nobody around, nobody that can start telling us stuff, nobody that we can take ideas from. Like, it all has to come from us. And all of that stuff that the caterpillar was feeding itself before it came into the stage of the chrysalis, that caterpillar now is sitting in that chrysalis and is able to survive on the nourishment that it took within, right? And so that is the transition stage. So in our lives, we go through the transition stage, and then the caterpillar will emerge from the chrysalis and become a butterfly. And so that's when you begin to fly, when you begin to see all the stuff that you've gone through, all the process, the metamorphosis, the transition, the transformation. You begin to see that now I have wings and I can fly above my circumstance. So all that to say, that's why I chose the name Next Stage, because I want us to remember that life is stages, but we don't have to stay in one stage. You can progress. You can progress. And then the wellness piece is because it encompasses so much. You know, we want to be well mentally. We want to be well spiritually. We want to be well emotionally. And so that's the reason that I chose the name Next Stage Counseling and Wellness. So I just want to hop on, introduce myself. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask me, tell you a little bit about who I was. That's pretty much all that this live was. And so pop in the comments if there's anything, within the next couple of weeks that you would like for me to talk about. So like I said, I do work with women in discouraging relationships with themselves, dealing with self-confidence, self-esteem, and I work with lots of couples. And the couples that I work with are mostly with communication, learning and wanting to know how to be heard and how to make sure that their partner hears them. So that's pretty much all that I have. I told you guys I wouldn't be on here long. I just wanted to say, hey, what's going on? And I wanted to let you know that you are worthy. Okay, so peace out. So hopefully you kind of know a little bit, at least behind the name of Next Stage Counseling and Wellness, and that you know what your name means. If you don't know what your name means, go look it up. What does your name mean? All right. Talk to you later.